Hello and welcome to Michael's Sports Minute. I'll be your host for Michael's Sports Minute today. I'm Michael McKenzie, and today we're going to be talking about some of the top topics in the sporting world, such as college football today. Will Georgia and Auburn, one of these teams, has a chance to prove themselves going into maybe the SEC championship game in just about 3 weeks from now. One team here will have a chance to prove themselves, but Auburn, we'll talk about how they'll still have some obstacles to go through even if they win this game. Richard Sherman is done for the season. We'll talk more about that, and also the NBA, some of the top stories in the NBA, but we begin with college basketball. The season tipped off last night, but LiAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill were arrested for shoplifting in China, and they will not return home with the team. They also are according to China officials, that they said that they will be stuck in China for about a week or two, quote unquote. So, what does this mean for UCLA? Will they have a few weeks to maybe try to prove that it's not just about those three freshmen, or will they be stand corrected and see that if UCLA is without these guys, that they are in a whole bunch of trouble? So again, Cody Riley, Jalen Hill, and LiAngelo Ball will stay in China and will not return home with the team for UCLA and will stay there for 1 or 2 weeks. Now we move on to the MLB, the World Series. The Astros in 7 games took home the World Series championship, and after the game, Carlos Correa proposed to his girlfriend. Of course, she said yes, but so just a nice ending for the Astros and all of that. So for 2018, the way too early World Series winner, I don't think the Astros defend their title. I don't think the Dodgers go back to the World Series. I say that the Nationals this year, they get a few more pieces added to the puzzle and complete that puzzle and win a World Series championship. So now we move on to the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles are they the best team in the NFL? Right now, they have the best record in the NFL, so it begs the question, they're going to win the NFC East, but are they the best in the NFL? Because it's looking like on the AFC side, it's really going to be a grudge match for the AFC Championship. You got the Chiefs in it. They have been struggling lately. They went 5-0 into a game against the Steelers. They have gone 1-3 in their last 4 games, falling to 6-3, and now their division up for grabs in the AFC West. So and then you got the Patriots, who they've lost 2 games already. They have already equaled their loss total from last year. So maybe Brady hitting 40, I don't know, it might be a bad thing for the Pats. They did just sign Brian Hoyer after they traded away Jimmy Garoppolo. And you got the Steelers, who starting to find their groove, but with the Martavius Bryant drama, it's just really a big throw up in Pittsburgh. So who knows who's going to go to it from the AFC, but right now it's looking like the Eagles will make the Super Bowl, try to win the Super Bowl. But some people are saying it'll be the Pats versus the Eagles, and it'll be just one of those non-anticipated matchups where the Patriots win their 6th Super Bowl. Is it going to be a Chiefs versus Eagles Super Bowl, 2 teams who weren't even in the talking contention for a possible Super Bowl spot, and there might be them? Or will it be a Seagulls Super Bowl, an in-state Pennsylvania rivalry, the Keystone thing where it's a Seagulls Super Bowl, Steelers versus Eagles? Who knows? But right now everybody's looking at it as though the Eagles will make it to the Super Bowl. There might be some stiff competition though from the surprising Los Angeles Rams, as they are 6-2 at this point. So a lot of surprises here in the NFL here. As we are reaching the midway point of the season, so we've still got a half a season for some more questions to be answered that haven't been answered yet. But the surprise teams who possibly could go to the Super Bowl and are the top front runners from the NFC are the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we'll take a look at the college football playoff picture before we go into our Georgia-Auburn preview. Right now it looks like Georgia number 1, Alabama number 2, Notre Dame number 3, and Clemson number 4. The matchups for each of these teams: number 1, Georgia will face off against number 10, Auburn. We will preview that game. 2, Alabama facing off against 16, Mississippi State. 3, Notre Dame against 7, Miami. So the top 3 teams away, on the road, and are facing ranked teams. So what could be in store for the top three? Will we have a major shakeup where two of those teams, one team loses, one team in the top three loses, two teams in the top three loses, or maybe all three of them just fall on the road? It's going to be a bit good college football games to watch here. Now we move on to our Georgia and Auburn preview. Georgia Auburn 1 versus 10. Last time these two teams were ranked going into a matchup was when Georgia was number 25 and Auburn was number 7. Auburn would go on to win that game on a miracle catch. It was 4th down and 18. Auburn looking for a miracle, and a tipped ball by Georgia. Auburn wide receiver make the catch, and it's a touchdown for Auburn. That's the end of the game. So last time these two teams were ranked, it was a very good game. But this game even more, because Auburn, even though they win this, Georgia, even if they win this game, it doesn't matter because they're going to the SEC championship, so they've got a chance to prove themselves there. It would be a nice addition to the resume for Georgia, already beating right now number 3 Notre Dame. So Georgia with all the right pieces to do exactly what they're shooting for tonight is to beat Auburn. But if Auburn wins, they still have one more obstacle. They have Alabama. If they beat number 1 Georgia, Alabama will go to number 1, and they'll have to beat 2 number 1 teams, and then they'll go to the SEC championship, and they'll have to beat Georgia yet again. So Auburn with a lot on their plate to make it into the college football playoff, but they can definitely do it. They showed it last week. They handily beat Texas A&M. So they have sent a statement to Georgia saying, we are coming for you, and we are coming for the SEC championship, and we are coming for the college football playoff. We're going to take your spot. Can Auburn do just that tonight? Auburn's first chance to truly prove themselves in the eyes of the committee at 3:30 on CBS. 1 versus 10. Now, we move on to the NBA. The Cavaliers dearly missing Kyrie Irving as they have an under 500 record, and they are in trouble because they do not really have any team chemistry going without Kyrie Irving there. Isaiah Thomas not going to be there until January with his hip injury. So the Cavs going to have to really push through at this point, because if they just keep waiting and waiting for Isaiah Thomas, one team, maybe the Wizards, is going to take the Cavaliers spot and go high, going to go number 1 in the Eastern Conference, and who knows, maybe they'll even be the ones who go to the NBA Finals this year. It could be a definitely different look for the NBA Finals this year with the Oklahoma City Thunder, with they have Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, the new duo, the new trio, a new super team. We got maybe the Warriors again, but maybe the Spurs. They've got a lot of right pieces. They didn't really do much in the offseason, but they're looking already better than they did last season. And so we got a different outlook. So now let's take a look at the Celtics. 11 straight wins for Boston following Gordon Hayward's injury that is going to have him out for the rest of the season. He played about just a minute this season, and that will be it for him. But the Celtics still looking great. Kyrie Irving, and they're not missing Isaiah Thomas at all. Kyrie Irving's really stepped into that spot, and he took control of the team. 11 in a row for the Celtics. We'll see if they can keep up this hot streak they've been on. Well, that's Michael Sports Minute for your host, Michael McKenzie, and for the rest of the of your Saturday and for the rest of your weekend, good night.